Welcome to Cosplayers Paradigm, a podcast about everything cosplay related, from the conventions that you love to the people that you love even more. And now, let's get on to the show.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Cosplayers Paradigm. Today, I am joined with not only a cosplayer, but a professional photographer and a man of many talents, as you can see even in the background, Brian Heffron, who is owner of Heffron Photography, correct?
Yeah. Ryan Heffron Photography is my main business. Do all kinds of photo shoots.
So let's go ahead and ask the main question, of course. Tell us a little bit about it yourself and how you got into this.
Oh, man. Well, I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Got an 8-year-old son who is kind of the spark that got me into the cosplay scene. But I've been a photographer since I got out of college, shooting all kinds of stuff from landscapes and travel to weddings to real estate and portraits and all that good stuff. And really once my son was born, that's what really brought out the creativity and childlike wonder again in me. Started making costumes for him and building them just toys to play with, Captain America shield and Thor hammer and stuff like that. And over the years, it's just kind of developed into a pretty big hobby on the side behind my photography and doing cosplay photo shoots and building stuff and having fun with it.
Sounds like a really good job, especially, having the kids be able to go ahead and, have your inspiration to build multiple things and just have fun with it. That just sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because as you get older, stuff like this, people might look at you kind of weird for if you're into, role playing. But especially when you have a kid, that gives you a great excuse to really fall back into it because it's for the kids, right? But no, it's really been fun. I really enjoy doing it.
Well, that's good. Yeah, one thing I would definitely say is never feel bad doing something that you love, regardless if it's for the kids, for yourself. I mean, it was once said that if you have a daughter and she comes up to you and says, I want to have a tea party and you're going to be the princess wearing fairy wings, the answer is always yes.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be a no. So, and besides, like you said, if you love it, well, this not only gives you a reason to do it more, but to really get into it,
Exactly. Like, you want to be a princess? All right, honey, let's go to the store and buy some fabric and get some. Let's go all out. Let's do it.
Yeah, and by the looks of the talent on the background right there, you definitely have the fabrication ideas and how to be able to put those together. So that makes it even better.
Yeah, it's fun when my son will think of an idea of something that he wants to do, and we can just, that's the great thing about building and cosplay and all this stuff is having the idea in your head and having a vision, and then the process of making it all come to life and turning it into a reality. I love that.
Definitely. Love that. So, during the cons or any of the photo shoots of any sort, have you ever had an oh my god moment where it could be good or bad or both?
I mean, there at some of these conventions, like I feel like I do a pretty good job with the stuff that I do, but man, there's some people out there that are absolutely amazing at their craft, and some of these costumes that I've seen out there, like especially some of these big mech ones, like it just is mind blowing just seeing that come to life, and those are really fun. Also during photo shoots, it's really fun being out and people in the background seeing you shoot and seeing the characters walking through. There was one that was really fun. I did a photo shoot with a guy that had a full movie screen realistic Boba Fett outfit, and
Ooh.
we went into a forest nearby, and we were doing some filming in the woods, and there happened to be a Boy Scout troop that was camping in there. And when they all see Boba Fett walking through the woods, it's like they were all freaking out, and it's so fun when stuff like that happens.
Oh, that would have been fun to see. Actually, probably would have been fun to videotape too, the reaction as well.
Oh, I know. I wish I would have got some of their smiles and laughs.
You could just see the counselor right there, the troop leader, I should say. Hey, everyone, look! There's the elusive Boba Fett. That would have been fun, definitely. So, what kind of challenges have you ever encountered when cosplaying, attending a con or an event that you've done?
This is my naked cat. He might get in the way.
It's all good. If anyone else is known from the previous episodes, animals are definitely welcome and encouraged, so never feel bad.
They love to be on camera, don't they?
They do.
Sorry, getting back to your question, it was a challenge. Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, essentially, like, have you ever encountered any challenge, either as a cosplayer itself or attending a con? And how did you navigate through it?
No particular challenges attending conventions. Conventions are so much fun. They're just such a great hangout time. I always have enjoyed going and just seeing all the people. Challenges of cosplay in terms of creating. Oh my goodness, there's always so many, so many happy little mistakes, as Bob Ross would say.
Yeah.
Going a little too overboard on paint jobs. Oh man, painting. Trying to maintain a good finish on your paint job and not getting little tacky fingerprints or accidentally pulling a little piece apart too soon. Oh man, that's the biggest challenge. A lot of my pieces is painting, honestly.
I definitely know that feeling. Put together a chainsaw for one of my cosplays, and while painting it, I thought it was nice. Turned around, let it dry a little bit, come back. Why has it changed color? All right, we got to do this again. And I ended up getting the fingerprints, like you said, and then I had to re-go over that again. And between two different materials overlapping right there, the color just did not come out right. So I kind of gave up. And people looked at it and they said, "Oh, hey, you got the blood splatter." And I was like, "Yes."
That was totally on purpose.
Yep. And like you said, happy little accidents.
Yeah.
Oh. Any plans for any particular cosplays coming up for the later on in the year, or any cons you're attending?
Well, here in November, I know we got the Grand Rapids Comic Con and Motor City Comic Con in Detroit coming up. Both are right around my birthday, so I might make a thing out of it.
Oh.
But I do plan on trying to attend at least Grand Rapids one. I hope to make it out to Detroit again. In terms of costumes, I'll probably at least one of the days go with my Cal Kestis Jedi Survivor outfit that I recently did. And then I just recently built this big guy, the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. So I'm thinking I might try and do a Cloud Strife outfit for one of the days as well. That one, that's one of my most recent builds right here. And that was always kind of a dream of mine. That giant sword. Oh man, Final Fantasy VII when I was a kid was like one of my favorites. And the other day, that's another thing that I love about cosplay and building. It's finding random things and making your vision a reality. I found a cardboard tube in the garage. It's just a 5 foot long rigid cardboard tube, and I held it in my hand. I'm like, I'm gonna make this into a Buster Sword. So I went and got some foam from the hardware store, and a month later I got this big guy on the wall now.
That's something I need to go ahead and look into a little bit more. The tubes, though, I can get those pretty much any time at my job. And these tubes, they're about, give or take, 4 foot, so not too bad in length, but they are tough. Breaking them, if I go ahead and try, chopping it, we've all done that to any tube before, and we know they break pretty easy, right?
Oh yeah.
These don't. These actually hurt my hand when I go ahead and try chopping it. So
I need some of those.
Well, I've still got 3 of them that are not being used right now.
Yeah, for giant fantasy weapons, man.
Yep.
They work well.
Once I saw that, I was like, oh, I need to get those. I have to stockpile those, get those. And then aside from the big tubes, we also get some smaller ones, about a little bit over a foot long. And these ones right here, they're really thin, but same thing. They are wound so well that they're really tight. Perfect for something like smaller axes, Eskrima, other builds like that.
Yeah.
Barrels for a handheld gun.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I try getting all those. They know my job. Hey, do you want them? We're gonna throw them away. It's like, yes,
I
yes.
love that.
I'm a hoarder. I want to take
Yeah.
them.
Even the same thing like my neighbor now. They know that I'm into this stuff. So this bottom one actually, they just came over to my house one day and they're like, "We have this leftover tube. Do you want it?" I'm like, yes, I do.
Definitely. So, can you walk us through your cosplay process? Like when you get the idea for something in particular, how do you process that together? Paper,
Oh,
video, research,
oh
and so
man,
forth.
it's so haphazard. You get the vision in your head, you get the idea, and it's just just a little spark. Like my Cal Kestis kit, I was just playing the game one day, and I was like, you know what? He has this little wristband on, and I had some foam sitting in the corner that was curved and looked about wrist shape. So I'm like, I'll just make that little wrist thing just to spend some time as a craft. And then as I started making that, and I'm like, okay, well now I got to do a full outfit. I got to do a full kit. So just start, it's just stuff like that. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. And then once I start getting into a little bit, then it just expands. And then I made the whole outfit, got the bandolier, made the clips, made the chest piece,
Nice.
made the cape and boots and everything. And yeah, it just kind of, it snowballs into a big project until I'm satisfied, which is hard to do, but
I wouldn't say that. By the looks of it, especially from the photos you sent me, you have a lot of amazing Star Wars alone cosplays.
that was our kind of our main one. My son and I, we really enjoy Star Wars, so a lot of the stuff was centered around that as we got into it. Yeah, but yeah, it just kind of starts. Sometimes I'll draw out an idea, I'll put it on paper, I'll try and look up pictures online to kind of get inspiration. I love just walking around like Michaels or Joann Fabric and just seeing all the different stuff that they have, just because you don't know what you can do until you know what is available to you, so I'll just see a wire or a thing and be like, oh, I could make something out of this. And it's the creative process, as most artists probably know. It's hard to explain. It's all haphazard. It just kind of comes together.
I'd say basically it's an intuitive amount. I'm sorry, an intuitive amount of imagination.
Yeah.
Most people would look at something like a cardboard tube, and some will get it's a staff or a sword. But others can look at it and it can become anything. It's a rifle, a battle axe, a tube broken down. It could go ahead and be a gauntlet. It can be adapters, a bandolier, just it's that extra vision of turning something else to what you want and having the ability to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one of the most fun parts of the process for me, is just having random components laying around, like even a water bottle or a tin can, or just random bits of foam, and just pulling something together. Like here, this thing right here, I'll show you. So my son was playing Fortnite and wanted a blaster, so I built this rifle, again, cardboard tube, and another cardboard tube in the middle, and then tin can, water bottle, just a bit of an old broke gun toy gun that he had, and some foam, and then he has his bomb popper. But it's I love having stuff like that where it's just random items sitting around and you can make something fun out of it.
Now, from seeing that, I also remember in your photos there was I'm assuming it was a Fortnite character, the banana split guy.
Yes, Lil Split.
Little Split. Okay, for anyone out there, yes, I do play. Sorry that I couldn't remember the names. I do have a lot of different things in my head, so it doesn't always stay there. But I remember seeing either him or someone else dressed up like that at the Grand Rapids Comic Con.
It
Was
might
that
have
you
been,
guys?
yeah. That probably was us. He had just started playing Fortnite not too long before we did that costume, and he had there was a song associated with it, and it just got stuck in my head, and it was his favorite character. I'm like, all right, dude, let's make. At first I actually made this his Nana Basher, his little popsicle pickaxe thing. And then after I did that, I'm like, well, heck, again, it just spirals. Let's do the full outfit. Let's do the whole costume. And so yeah, that was a whole process. But that one was really fun to do, and seeing him in it and moving around and going through the con was just so hilarious. But he would actually wanted to do the costume contest, and we had planned on it for months, and I was working so hard to get this done. And because it's kind of constraining and heavy and whatnot, I figured we'd get there maybe like 15 minutes beforehand, so we'd have enough time to just put it on right beforehand, do the show, and then have some time to walk around. So we get there at 45-minute drive. We get there about 20 minutes beforehand. We're getting into the stage area, and right as we're walking through the door, I hear the announcers on the PA like, all right, and we're about to announce the winners of the contest. And I'm just like, whoa, wait, what? No, what? Apparently they had changed the time for the kids' costume contest just to a half hour earlier, and only announced it on Facebook like an hour beforehand, 2 hours beforehand. So I literally was waving my hands around. I had to stop the whole show, and they graciously allowed him to suit up, and as everyone silently watched us, then he walked up onto the stage, but he nailed it and managed to win first prize.
So that was the spring fling down in Kalamazoo.
Yep, that was him.
Yep. So I was there as well.
Oh, that's funny. Nice.
Yeah. So if you saw Ash Williams wandering around with a chainsaw and the boomstick on his back, that was me.
Awesome. I think I do remember that. I might have a picture somewhere.
Nice. That would be actually nice to actually see a picture from someone else's perspective instead of just my own.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
no, I saw that on stage.
I have tons of
I
pictures
saw
of everyone else and not of me.
It's kind of how it goes. I mean, when I do get a picture, it's usually of a selfie, someone else taking it really quick. But I never get the raw pictures of people like, ooh, I want to get that from the different angle, or hey, can I take a photo of you doing a pose or something else,
Yeah, that's one of the things as I've been going to the cons recently. I've been bringing my camera with and trying to get as many pictures as I can, and putting them online to share with all the people that attended, so they can get some cool shots of themselves.
Yeah, I tried to go ahead and bring my stuff with me as well. And I've tried to see if anyone would like to do some interviews, on the spot. But surprisingly, not very many people want to stop and do that. So.
Oh, really? I figured people would be all into it.
Same here, but I don't know. Maybe they're just really busy, or they're on a time crunch as well. The days that I've asked.
Yeah. Well, and also, with this community, I know there's kind of a lot of shyness and anxiety, social anxiety too, that can go along with it. So, there might be people that feel put on the spot, but I'm always happy to take pictures and interact with people and stuff.
Same here.
So much fun for me.
Oh, definitely. But you bring that up about the cons are amazing, but what would you say is more of your preference? Cons versus Renfest, anime conventions. Each one has their own different elements. What would you say is your take on that?
Oh man, honestly, you know what? I have not been to an anime convention yet. My next door neighbor actually really likes anime. I have to go to one soon. Renfest are awesome. I always love those. Those are so much fun. Just outdoor. It's it's like transporting you to another world. It's like an immersive experience almost. I love that aspect of the Renaissance festivals. Just the whole atmosphere of it is that world. Conventions are cool because you just get to see everyone's creativity come to life, and everyone gets to show off what they've done, and seeing the different booths and vendors, and there's just all that liveliness and action. But yeah, once you mentioned Renfest, I haven't been to one since I've moved to Michigan, but those were always so much fun. I have to get back to those.
I've still never been to one myself. So
Oh,
hopefully, I know. But then again, people who've been watching the show know I've only been going to the conventions itself for the past 7 years, and only cosplaying for about 6 of those. So
yes,
still fairly new,
yeah,
but at the same time, I'm loving the atmosphere. I'm This year alone, I was able to attend numerous cons for the first
nice.
time ever. I want to do more. I really do. And if I can actually volunteer instead, or um, a different way, I'd gladly do it. You know, don't really care how far it is, except if it's out of state, well, there's a little bit of prepping. But in state, I mean, it's just a drive is all it is. And yeah, I'd be more than willing.
Yeah, because I came up from Kansas City. I've been in Michigan for 2 years now, so
Okay.
I'm still kind of learning what's around the area. But as I've been to the Grand Rapids Comic Con a couple times now, and Motor City Comic Con once, and as I'm meeting people there and kind of learning about the scene, I'm joining groups on Facebook and learning about there's so many more. So because a couple of years ago, all I knew, it's like I was aware of Comic Con. That's what I knew. And then come here now, I hear these like Dragon Con, Humicon, all these other cons. There's so many cons. It's like we got to start exploring them a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, I only knew of a handful myself. And this year alone, I had a couple friends telling me, "Oh, hey, you're going to this one. What about this one? No, you need to go to this one." I was like, "What? Where did these come from?"
Yeah.
But I took
Speaking
their
of like
advice and
the
actually went.
Renfest type style, I
Okay.
don't know if you've heard of it, but since my son and I are big into Star Wars, I saw just last year, I think out near Detroit. I can't remember exactly when they do it, but I think it's a similar to like a Renaissance Fest, but for Star Wars. And they set up this whole area, like, almost kind of like a Galaxy's Edge type thing in Disneyland, where the whole place is designed and styled to be immersive, and everyone is required to be in costume in the universe. And so I definitely want to try to get to that this year. I first learned about it last year and it was a little too late to attend, but I'm really looking forward to something like that.
That would be amazing. There is a Star Wars costume that I want to do, but I'm limited on a workspace right now, and budget-wise, it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah, they
I'm not
could.
saying it's super expensive, but it is more than what I normally do.
What character are you looking for?
It's a Mandalorian, but it's a mashup.
Ooh.
Yep. I don't really want to say what the mashup is.
Secret?
Just
Okay.
kind of. But basically, a creature in which he fought, one, took the spoils of war and added it to his uniform.
Okay.
So, and because of that, is why it's going to take a little bit, because I need to build everything, whether it's 3D print, foam, paper mache, kind of don't care as long as I can get the image across properly.
Nice.
But that is definitely one I want to do. And the idea that sounds amazing. Huh.
Yeah, I know it's those immersive experiences just sound really fun to me. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I would love to go ahead and host either a photo shoot, or a get together or a meeting, something like that. But trying to find the right place, the time, theme, it's been a little difficult.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
But I do have some good friends that have great ideas, so spitball it a little bit, and who knows, maybe we can actually get something together.
Yeah. If you do, I'd love to be a part of it.
That'd be awesome. Now, all the photos that you sent me, I went ahead and put a video together to cascade this, and honestly, I did not expect it to be that many. So
I
this
know.
was fun to do.
It's like when you ask for some photos, I'm like, some. It's like,
See, that's the funny part. I've asked other people some photos. Sometimes I get 6. Sometimes I get 9. And okay. And then here I am looking at something that's nearly 3 minutes long. It's like, okay, But I did it, and let's take a look at that real quick as it goes by.
There's
And there it is.
More Fortnite guns. Yeah. My son wants to be a Grim Reaper this year for Halloween, so I built him that scythe.
Oh, that's amazing.
That was leftover scrap. Again.
And with the popularity of Minecraft coming out with a new movie.
Yeah.
And of course, for people watching, these are photographs that he's taken as well as part of the business, aside from himself. But oh, there it is.
Oh, there's my little split. And there's some of the photos we did in our basement here.
Well, I like that.
The knight, yeah, he has to be a knight one year for Halloween, and so that was actually my very first time working with EVA foam, and I managed to do that whole knight's outfit for him. And it turned out really cool.
And that Santa right there, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was kind of going for a Sith at first, and then I had some extra white and red. I'm like, he looks kind of Santa, so I just put a Santa hat on and made a Santa Sith.
Very cool.
Oh,
Now that was brilliant.
His speeder bike. So he has an electric. I got my son an electric bike to help him learn, and I built that speeder bike around it last year as I was making our Star Wars costumes. And the video ended up actually going viral and got picked up by some agencies and made us some money, luckily. But that one was so much fun. And even now, when I'm like scrolling through Facebook or Instagram every once in a while, I'll see the video come up from some lad Bible or something that has shared it, and I love seeing that. That was one of my best.
So the funny part is that video has been shown to me numerous times as well.
Oh, really?
Because I have a lot of fans that are, friends that are Star Wars fans, and we all talk about different things. We show stuff, share it. It's been shared on my feed a few times in person at work. They've gone, "Oh, hey, check this out!" Showing me the phone.
I love
Now
that.
to actually have met the creator of it, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that was a really fun one. And again, it was just I had his little electric bike, and I had two big cardboard tubes. It always seems to go from cardboard tubes. So I just stuck those onto the end, and a lot of duct tape and cardboard later. And I took the mirror idea to cover the wheels from a documentary on the original Star Wars. You know how they did the land speeder? They use mirrors for the effect on it. So I just got some mirror sticky paper on cardboard and did that, and had them drive around, and it turned out so good. I love it.
And of course, if you ever remember watching the original movie, you can still see a little bit of the wheel. Very little.
At the bottom.
But it looks well enough like a shadow that you still don't know it's a wheel. And mind you, this is what, 1977?
Yeah.
And they're doing
really
all this amazing. Exactly. I mean, it was ahead of its time on so many levels. The painting of the backgrounds to go ahead and, showcase an entire fleet of people basically standing in attention, the run between the Death Star, all that. It's like, people, we love the movies, but this is the creativity that we are talking about in cosplay and Halloween and in all this. And people were doing it for movies. Now,
those practical effects is great.
Exactly. Any movie that has practical effects now, I have so much appreciation for. It's an old art, but
you have that understanding of just how much time and effort and detail like each person went with their hands doing all of that stuff. And it's really cool.
Now, on a different tangent, although it's still technically cosplay, when it comes down to practical effects in movies, what would you say was your favorite one? For me, it's John Carpenter's The Thing. During the resuscitation scene, and he's using the paddles on the chest, it opens up and clamps right down on him.
I honestly don't even know if I know that scene.
Oh, if you get a chance to rewatch the movie, please do, because The teeth are real. It is actually a metal bear trap used for that scene. But what they had was a paraplegic with fake arms. So when we see the actual crunch, it's real, but it's not actually on real arms, it's on fake arms. So it's the other way around.
Oh
And
man.
that was just brilliant.
Yeah, man. On the spot, I couldn't even think of one. There's so
Fair
many.
enough. There is. There is. But, the use of CGI, don't get me wrong, is nice, but just going that old school way,
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
puppetry.
like the first thing that pops into my head is the original Jurassic Park, like that the actual it had big dinosaurs made up and that they interacted with rather than just all CGI and stuff and stuff like that. Yeah.
Definitely. That is a great one. And of course, such a classic now.
Yeah, I mean that's the great thing about practical effects is they hold up. CGI is starting to get to the point now where I imagine it'll be holding up for longer than it used to, but practical effects they'll always stand the test of time.
Have to agree, definitely. Now, what were some of your favorite cosplays you've seen while attending the cons?
Oh man, there was one recently. I don't even know the character specifically, but it was like a lizard guy in like full medieval armor. I don't, but man, that one.
The Dirge.
Yeah, that was one. Yeah, that was a great one.
Yep, that
And,
is actually Donnie Pitaway.
oh, nice.
Yep, he was he was a guest on the show.
Oh,
But
really?
yep, he went ahead and did the Dark Dirge, where he had the armor, the white lizard head helmet,
Yeah,
and all the voice in there as well, the animatronics for it.
that was a really cool one. And at that same show, actually, one of the guys did the Resident Evil monster, and that was that was huge. That looked crazy. Yeah, it's always the big ones, the big extravagant ones. I really like the like giant mech ones and stuff like that. Those are really cool.
Now, online, we see a lot of that, at either New York City, Chicago, the San Diego Comic Con, but it's hard to think that we would see it in Grand Rapids. So when we do, it's just, your eyes are on it. You
Yeah.
can't help it. You're like a kid again. It's like, oh my gosh, it's here. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are, but I love it. Now, a little while ago, a few episodes ago, I had made mention of this. There was someone who dressed up as the giant rabbit from the Dark Crystal. But the coolest part about that was their daughter was dressed up as Gelfling on their back. So it was size proportionate, and he's on the stilts walking around, and she's just up there all.
Yeah. Bet she was having a ball.
Oh, definitely. I mean, eyes on them. She's here completely dressed up. She's on her own area. No one can come up to her. It's basically like,
Stuff on
wow.
a little perch. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, when you can like bring the kids involved with it too and do like a joint costume, like that's really cool. That's fun.
Oh, definitely. Too many that I've seen here recently that have been just amazing. And it just makes me want to do more. And thanks to someone who turned me on to a particular show, I now want to go ahead and do a couple characters from that show. So my laundry list of cosplays has just gotten bigger.
Yeah. Just more that's why I always try to go with anything that I can find and laying around because all these ideas can be expensive if you
Oh, yes. So what would you say cosplay is to you?
Escape, imagination, creativity. It's just it's an outlet. People, why do an adult coloring book when I can repaint a Nerf gun instead? It's just a way to get my creativity out, and just kind of again get that childlike sense of the world back again, and be able to just have fun and kind of lose yourself a little bit and embody these characters that, like my Cal that I've been playing in the game, and now I can kind of be him in real life too. Stuff like that. It's always fun. I kind of have a bit of a acting background. When I was younger, I did some commercials and voice acting stuff and plays. So
Ooh.
I had that growing up. So it's kind of fun to be able to bring that out again and kind of as these characters,
Definitely. I think I now have another reason to go ahead and talk to you as well, since you just mentioned that. So I've definitely been wanting to get into voice acting, but trying to get everything situated and time constraint is a little bit hard. Not giving up, just pushing it back a little bit,
Yeah, when I was a kid, I ended up being the main one that I did was I was the voice of Timmy on some of the Magic School Bus, not the show, but the interactive computer games that they had back, in the 90s or whatever it was. But yeah, I think there's still clips on the internet on YouTube somewhere that you can find, and yep, that's my voice as a kid. It's funny.
Very cool. So we've talked a lot about the cosplay aspect and building, but you're also a photographer, of course. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit on that.
Sure.
Now, when did you actually get started with the photography itself as a full business?
Oh, I've been shooting photography since basically since I came out of college 20 something years ago. Full time in various aspects. I've done school portrait, going to schools at 6 a.m. to shoot all the kid photos. I do weddings, real estate, landscape, nature. I was director of photography for a marketing agency that worked for outdoor agencies, and we'd go on trips around the world getting their product photos for new stuff. And then once my son was born, I stopped traveling so much and a lot more real estate and families and senior pictures. And then as I started building stuff with him, of course, I want to take some awesome photos of him in the stuff that I make for him. And it kind of transitioned from there now with the other cosplay stuff. It's just, I like photographing any and all subject matter. And so this is just a natural extension of that.
Very nice. Very. You said you've only been up here for a little while, a couple of years now, but still trying to navigate around, right?
Yeah, I moved from Kansas City up here near Grand Rapids about 2 years ago. So I'm still familiarizing myself with the area and putting myself out there, but we love it up here. It's been great.
Have you gone to Townsend Park?
Yes, it's been a while. I think that was one of the first ones we actually went to, but yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people love going out to Townsend Park to take photos, whether it's for school, personal, wedding, but a lot of people overlook it because it's far away. Not too far, but just kind of out there.
Yeah.
But since you've been there, have you gone farther down the road to the lake?
No, I haven't been down to the lake.
So if you go ahead and continue down Ramsdale, the Topeka Lake down Ramsdale Road, there is a little lake, but it has a bridge that crosses it. So with that, you can go ahead and take some really nice photos on either side, but there's also multiple trails, and there's even I wouldn't say a campground, more like a little picnic area, if you will. So it's got a lot of different sceneries that you could choose from.
Nice. Yeah, there's some great parks and areas around here. And like I said, with that Boba Fett one, it was actually just, 2 miles from my house. There was this great little wooded area that it must have been planted because it's got, fairly spaced out, nice rows of big trees. It just had that perfect kind of like Endor feel, for Star Wars to shoot at. I love finding great locations to kind of match the background of the the outfit that we're working with.
Definitely. You have any thoughts for a place that would be kind of spooky in Grand Rapids, perfect for a Evil Dead?
Ooh, Evil Dead. There is a kind of empty cabin out in one of the parks just down the road from me that I actually shot some Halloween photos at last year. That
Ooh.
had that kind of real spooky vibe to it. It might be a good one.
I definitely think I need to talk to you after this right here about that, because I would love to get some more photos for my Evil Dead.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh
But
man,
trying to find a good lake location is hard, you know?
that'd be a fun one. I can totally picture that in my head. Yeah.
Very cool.
Get a fog machine out and yeah.
Oh, yes, do the extra. Love it. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So, between you, your son, photography, cosplay, everything, how do you balance it between fun, your life, all of that?
uh, I don't know.
True answers. I love that.
No idea. I'm sure my wife would appreciate me not being down here doing stuff quite so much. But usually it's, 10 o'clock after my son goes to bed, I'll throw a show on down here and come and just start carving away at some foam and messing with stuff. The hours that are no one else is awake, I'll try to get a few things done.
Okay.
But
I'd say that's definitely a good balance. Do you have a particular budget that you have when it comes down to doing your props or cosplays?
Oh
I know you
yeah,
said that you
I
find
try
stuff, but
my best to shoot for zero. Oh man, yeah, it's I try to go as budget as possible because I mean I'm not doing this for a production for a big professionally, like it's still just for fun for me, and I think the wife would get quite upset if I'm sinking too much money into this. So I try to keep as budget as possible, and that's part of the fun actually is going around to thrift shops and clearance racks and going to miscellaneous trash piles and seeing what you can find and stuff, and just making things out of leftover components that are going to be otherwise scrap, and making something cool out of it, because just because it's leftover or cheap doesn't mean you can't make it good. So I do that as much as I can. Trying to cosplay on a budget is key for me, because that's part of the fun of it, that aids in the creativity. If I can just go out and spend $2,000 buying an Iron Man suit, well, okay, anyone can do that, but building it, like, not too many people can do that, and then you can say it's yours, it's personal, it's custom, you did it yourself, and that's the biggest part of it for me.
I'd have to agree. I mean, I could have gone online. I could have bought the chainsaw for Ash. I could buy the boomstick, all that. But there's just something about grabbing the foam, grabbing, the hot glue gun, the paint, forming it, cutting it, and just putting it together. And then you have it on you. You're like, yeah, that's me. that's me.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely the fun of it. It's building, creating, saying that it's looking at something that I did that, I made that. It's always fun, and it's always fun, especially with my son, showing him all the cool stuff and seeing him play with it, and seeing all the neighbor kids running around, and they see it and they're like, oh, they know me as the guy that makes all the cool stuff. So that's always fun.
So how many times have the neighbors come up to you and said, hey, can you go ahead and make this for my kid?
Yeah, I'm actually, my son's best friend wants to be a little Grim Reaper too, so I told him not to buy a site. I'll make them another one as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Got the
2
kids
Reapers down the road.
always asking, can you make me a sword? Can you make me a blaster? Make me a helmet?
Could you go ahead and make the axe from Godzilla versus Kong?
Ooh, yeah, we actually just watched that. My son was just getting into the MonsterVerse recently. Big monkey.
Oh, of course. Are you going just to the MonsterVerse with the newer ones, or are you going to go ahead and introduce them to the older ones as well?
Ooh, maybe. I don't know. Kids these days, getting them to sit through older movies. but but we'll see.
It is hard.
Yeah, we I think we went through from what was the new Godzilla up until Kong versus Godzilla. I think there have been 5 of them in the most recent MonsterVerse series, and yeah, we just recently named those out.
Okay. Godzilla 2014, Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla versus Kong, and Godzilla
New
X
Empire.
Kong
Yeah.
Empire.
Yep. Yeah, they've been fun. They're a fun ride. It's it's just those mindless. See some big creatures beating each other up.
Yep.
It's a
Oh, I
fun.
know that all too well. Anyone who knows me knows I am a huge Godzilla fan. But growing up, I've always loved giant robots, kaiju, everything. So, yeah, if it was something large that you're literally looking up to, that's fighting something, yeah, I was watching it.
Yep. And now with the new Transformers coming out, we're just starting to get into the Transformers ones too. So a whole new series of mechs for him to get involved with.
Yep. But you got a lot of them already to go through, which is nice leading up to this.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Having kids also, it's being able to introduce him to all the fun things from my childhood that I grew up with. Because everything old is new again. And
Yep.
yeah, it's something.
And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. Especially if you go ahead and share the same connection, and then it's something even more to bond on.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So, what is your process when you take photographs for different people in cosplay? Do you have a layout of? Do you ask them what they want to do? Do you have kind of an idea that you do for a layout, or a combination of both?
A little bit of both. Usually, I mean, they're the creator. They have the vision in their head, so I want to try to match that and provide that as much as I can. A lot of it is just getting an idea for the costume and character that they're representing first of all, and then finding the right lighting, setting, props that can really bring it to life, whether that's in an actual setting or trying to use some AI to generate a background to fit it these days and edit it in. But it's just trying to match the atmosphere for the character. It's definitely, well, when I do it myself, obviously I can do whatever I want, but I always want to try to bring other people's visions to life as well, not just make it my shoot. So.
No, I definitely agree with that. It's got to be a collaboration. You can't just have one-sided. But I know there's many times where the person doesn't know what they want, so they leave it on the hands of the photographer, and sometimes that can be a burden. So
yeah, luckily with cosplayers, everyone's always so fun and chill, and they just want to get out and get some cool shots. So I've never had any issues with more other business professional related stuff in the artistic field when a client doesn't give you much direction and then they let you have at it, and then you come back with what you do, and then they're like, well, that wasn't what I was looking for. It's like, well, that's why I asked for more direction in the first place. But luckily with everyone in this industry, they're always just having fun, and so we keep it pretty low key and just create some cool images. So.
the cosplay community is definitely fun. I mean, who didn't think about just dressing up as a kid and wanting to be a new character, or just have that original idea and like, oh, I want to do this, And now you can go out and do many different places, showcase it, have fun with many different type of materials that you can choose from now compared to what it was like when we were growing up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for anyone that is even thinking about getting into a con or attending or doing their own cosplay, don't hesitate. Do it. There's no fear, no reason to be nervous. Everyone is always so much fun and helpful and friendly at these things, and we're all just creators and Imagineers just looking to have fun and be big kids again.
I like that. Imagineers. I really like that. I think I'm going to start using that a little bit, in a description there of how the cosplayer community is.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Well, we are going to be coming to the end of our show here really soon. What kind of words would you say to anyone out there that wants to get into cosplay or has been struggling for cosplay? I should say words of wisdom. There we go.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Just have fun. No pressure. There's no stigma or anything attached to this. It's just everyone's out looking to have a good time. In terms of building or creating, as I may have mentioned earlier, you can't know what you can create until you know what is available to you. So sometimes I'll just go to the hardware store and just wander around the aisles just looking at stuff, and go to the fabric store or the craft store and just wander around with nothing specific in mind, just looking around to see what is there, because then later on when you have that idea, you can remember, oh yeah, I can use that thing that I saw, and that makes it so much easier. Hang on to scraps, things that you might not think you need, bottle caps, tubes, stuff like that. It can all come in handy, and just start creating, even if it's a failure, even if it doesn't come out how you want it to. It's all part of the process, and once you get the one that does come through how you imagined it, then it all comes together, and you realize how much fun it is.
See, for all the failed ones, those are battle damage versions of your character.
Exactly.
Always be able to reuse. I like that, But he's right. Don't be afraid. You're not out there proving to anyone else. You're just having fun for yourself. And if you happen to go ahead and make someone else smile, bonus. The community is definitely inclusive. And if you see us, I can't speak for Ryan specifically, but I can say if you see me out there, I will gladly go ahead and help in any way. I mean, it's fun. It's like a giant family that's not at your house every day. It's like Christmas, We meet together, we go ahead and have a good laugh, get something to eat, take some photos and create memories. Then we go back home and do other things.
Exactly. It's always just a fun, relaxed experience where everyone can just kind of be creative and enjoy something different from the kind of craziness of the rest of the reality we're in.
So true. So true. Someone actually pointed out apparently that I smile the most when I'm at a con compared to anywhere else.
Nice.
Not saying I'm not smiling, but apparently being there, it brings out that childlike innocence again and the happiness. And I like that. I never would have saw it myself if it wasn't for them actually pointing it out to me. And I appreciate them more than they know for that.
Nice.
But we are going to be looking at the end right here. And before we close out, I just want to go ahead and make sure that everyone is aware that it doesn't matter if it's $5, $20, $1,000, a tube or a cardboard that you found on the road, leftover, something you saw at, a Halloween store. Putting it together, putting that love and creativity into it is what makes it unique and fun. Never doubt yourself. The only doubt that you should have is the doubt to even whether I should even begin. Because as soon as you start, you've already taken that step that a lot of others don't. You've already won because you began.
Yep.
And of course,
there creates that snowball effect, and you'll just once you start, you won't stop. You'll just keep on creating.
Exactly. And of course, with every creation, once finished, another one might actually come out of it. But this is why we go ahead and, you know, we support anyone's creativity, ideas. You do it, you love it, we love it. So definitely show us what you got. Have fun with it. Comment down below, like, subscribe, share, let everyone know. Let us see what you've worked on or what you're going to be doing at the next con, or for that matter, which con that you're going to be attending. So maybe either of us will go ahead and see you and we could say hi. But
Absolutely.
until next time, everyone, just remember, if you can dream, believe, create. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Are you interested in cosplay, currently a cosplayer, or have an experience you wish to share? Want to be on the show? Simply text, email, or send a message on our Facebook page. I can't wait to hear from you.